Don't blink. It's a blink. Welcome to the show. Hey, doing all having a wonderful day on this 24th November 2024. It is 5:30 a.m. My neighbors be pissed, but it's okay because just like Sarah Marshall, they shall forget. Yes, we're reviewing one of my favorite movie ever. Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Trying to say it with a little redneck accent, like a Tammy Lynn, for example. Forgetting Sarah Marshall is one of my favorite movie for a couple of reasons. Don't blink, it's your blink. We have to do well, by the way. I want to redo the intro because I like the intro so much, but I don't want to redo it because it's gonna be oversaturated. It's gonna be like, yo, get a new intro. Well, it was working for the first 26,000 videos. Why it's not working now? I don't know. This is my first video today. We'll come out around 5 and play some Tokyo Ghoul. That way we can get it in before 6:30. At 6:30 I'm going to be able to go out to film some more videos, which is the plan, right? Yeah, so long story short, very, very long story, very, very short. A Hobbit Height. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you should know. So it's kind of cool. Sarah Marshall came into my life as a very late. How can I put this? You guys know that at 22 I wasn't working. I was very depressed, right? And one of the way to heal, I want to heal. I want to feel like I saw it was never real. My PhD. No, I think I was at 20. I don't remember. I remember I was being home, and I remember I bought one of the DVD. One of the DVD. I told this story before. I wasn't working, so I had very little money. Possibly was at 20 because I was buying movie from Walmart. And it was a bin, right? And it was a bin with movies at $5 each. Now, ultimately speaking, I didn't really care about the movies because I was like, okay, well, you're broke, and you need some movies. So the first I chose were, of course, movies that I knew were popular, movies that I knew that people liked, movies that I knew that were successful. That way, I had a kind of like surefire thing going on. One of those movie ended up being Get Him to the Greek. It wasn't that popular movie, but there was the more popular movie. I already had them, and I fell in love with Get Him to the Greek. It was possibly one of my favorite comedy. Get Him to the Greek was such a amazing story of don't meet your hero, but what if you met your hero and he was in pain? Would you help him out, right? And to me, that was a really good movie, and I kind of worship that movie because it was this little gem that I knew nobody knew, but not a lot of people knew, but I knew by heart. Um, Furry wall, come bring me down. Furry wall, please stay around. Furry wall, furry wall, furry wall, bring me to sleep. If you don't know this song, you possibly know Infant Sorrow. And the thing about another song, The Clap, Mamish, and it's there's a really good album. I don't remember the lyrics because we're just waking up, but the attention to details. Getting to the Greek. Getting to the Greek was, and I know I'm talking about forgetting Sarah Marshall, forgetting Sarah Marshall. But I'm also talking about getting to the Greek. And you know what? We'll do a two-part series where I tell you why I was forgetting Sarah Marshall was so important to me. This is gonna be the first part, which explains my love for getting to the Greek. Now I know what you're saying, Inch. You're talking about a movie, but you're talking about another movie. Now, technically, that's not true. Technically, that is true, but technically, that's not true. See, get into the Greek, canonically speaking, is part of the same universe as Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Now, craziest thing, Forgetting Sarah Marshall is actually the prequel of Getting to the Greek, which is actually kind of nice. Getting to the Greek, it was this movie that wasn't supposed to succeed. It was this movie that wasn't supposed to. I mean, it was Jonah Hill. It was Russell Brand, amazing artists. And it's basically the story about a dude that is working for a music company, and he really liked music, and he really, really, really enjoy like rock and roll. And he's working for a company, this company, right? And in the movie, there's PDD. So this age well, and there's this famous scene of Jonah Hill fucking up, and P. Diddy saying, "Don't fuck up again. I'm gonna be in your mind. I'm gonna fuck up your mind." And Jonah Hill is like, "Please wear a condom," which is funny because we know that the allegation that's going against P. Diddy right now. So this movie kind of aged like fine wine because there was some inkling in there. But it's kind of cool because people don't care about music. People just want to sell tickets. And we had the Jonah Hill was like, yo, Aldo Snow, he can do a tour. He hasn't done tour in a while. So the problem with Aldo Snow is he's a singer, and it's kind of cool because he's a singer, and his last album was shit. Because of that, it kind of went into hiding. And then the movie is about Jonah Hill trying to get him to the Greek, which is a Greek center. It's where Fusi wanted to do the 15th July 2024, 2018, which is possibly the most popular event they had. But if they could have had Aldo Snow, which again is Russell Brand. The cool part about this movie is actively, and this is doing by memories. I should watch it again. I'm gonna watch it again soon, and then I'm gonna make a video. But this is by memories, and this is not even about forgetting Sarah Marshall. It's just a good intro in my mind. So Jonah Hill's like, yo, this guy's a fucking mess. This guy's a fucking mess. Cannot get it. He's always high. He's always drunk. He's fucking self-destructing. But then you realize that Aldo Snow doesn't have a good person in his circle. He has people that wants to that really wants to take advantage of him. And I don't know. I don't know. It's a sad story. Even his father doesn't really give a fuck about him. And you kind of realize that Aldous kind of knows this, and possibly that's why he's so sad. You know, kind of like, oh well, people are using me, so might as well be an asshole. They won't mind because they need me, right? He's also the funny thing about the movie is he's still in love with his ex called Jackie Q. Yeah, I know the movie by heart. And Jackie Q is the embodiment of Aldous, what she didn't want to do. So her and Aldous, they were very, very popular. And they were making really good music. But Jackie Q was able to say, you know what? Rock and roll doesn't sell anymore. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to please the masses. And I'm going to make an album. Which Aldous Snow really didn't do, even with African Child. So basically African Child is that album that didn't work at all. Right? And the reason why it didn't work was like, okay, well, Aldous Snow was like, you want me to change? You want me to make a different album? You want something new? I'll do something new. But people just didn't like it, right? Which is a bit of a sad thing because it really brought him out of his comfort zone, and which led to a down spiral, right? But it's such a good movie, such a good movie. And then he's still in love with Jackie Q, but Jackie Q, she changed, and it's a sad story because Aldous is acting like a spoiled brat, but you understand that nobody ever tried to raise him. And Jonah Hill's like, yo, I'm gonna help you out. And the nicest thing about Jonah Hill is, in this movie, at first he's trying to please somebody. There's this really cool story of Jonah Hill trying to please Aldous and say, yo, I'm your biggest fan. And then he realized that Aldous doesn't really give a fuck about him. And Aldous is using him the same way people use him. So then Jonah Hill's like, you know what, you're not gonna use me, fuck you. And he kind of move around, and he kind of starts not necessarily being a dick to Aldous Snow, but in a way he's more so, I'm not your bitch, right? Which is beautiful. And the great thing is, Aldous is really an asshole in this one. So Jonah Hill has a girlfriend, right? And they have problem. And Aldous sees that, and instead of helping his friend, which is Jonah Hill, he sexualizes relationships. He's not able to see other people enjoy themselves because he doesn't enjoy himself. But then Jonah, by doing that, by being an asshole to Aldous and not following his every step in order, actually becomes more of a friend to Aldous than anybody else that's around him. You hear that? Fucking, we have there's an infestation of mouse in the building, and I believe that was it. It's okay. I have traps around. I have a shit ton of traps. So the beautiful thing is the movie ends, right, with Aldous being a functioning member of society, Jonah Hill being his manager, but it's a really good movie. And why are we talking about this? Because this is one of the movies that I really liked, and it's not so much about the movie itself. It's again about the songs. You see, I told you guys about Jackie Q, right? And then what happened is Jackie Q actually makes an album, and why is it so cool? Well, the album that she does is a ring about my posy, so damn cozy, which she's talking about her asshole. which is also the lyrics of the song, but they put in so much effort into the universe of it, right? And I was so in love with this movie. This is the very first movie, so I'm completely lying to you guys. This is the very first movie where I watched the commentary on, and I'm completely lying to you guys and saying that's because I liked it, but it was because I was bored and I didn't have any other movies, right? And I would really like this movie, so I was like, you know what? Fuck it, let's watch it and just have fun. And this is where it led me. It led me to a complete understanding or a complete love for a good movie. Sadly speaking, I didn't even know about Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I didn't know that it had to do with it. But when I learned, I was kind of over movies. Not necessarily over movies, but when you spend a couple of years of watching the same movie, watching the commentary, yeah, right? You kind of want to see something else. A series, for example, right? And ultimately speaking, Forgetting Sarah Marshall came in, and to my surprise, it is the following. So the int is Sarah Marshall. So what is Forgetting Sarah Marshall? Sarah Marshall is this amazing comedy. The reason why I'm saying sadly is because I watched 20 plus time Getting to the Greek, and I watched possibly Forgetting Sarah Marshall 4 or 5 times. Not because it's not good, but because once again we watched so many times Getting to the Greek. So we haven't Getting to the Greek. We have a analyst of they're in the plane ride, right? And they're hearing about Sarah Marshall and his new comedy, and Aldous knows like, yo, I fucked this girl. And you're like, okay, cool. Then you realize that the fucking other girl in question happened in the the first movie. So Forgetting Sarah Marshall is what? Forgetting Sarah Marshall, once again, it's the unofficial. Why I'm saying unofficial is actually quite simple. There's int that is the same universe, but it doesn't have anything to do with it. But it's basically this amazing movie, and to a certain degree, I do believe that Getting to the Greek is a bit funnier, but I do believe conceptual wise, I feel like Forgetting Sarah Marshall is 10 times better. So Forgetting Sarah Marshall is about this girl, right? And she's really, really popular, and she's at the top of the world. And the sad part is she has a boyfriend called Jason Segel. I don't remember his name. I'm sorry, but Jason Segel, he's in a position where everything that he does it for her, right? And yes, they're in a relationship, but it's always about her. So you see him being miserable. You see him wanting to write a play, but she's like, it's not a good play. It won't work. What are you doing? Right? And you're gonna feel bad for Jason, and then you realize that she's cheating. She cheated on him. Well, you don't really know that she cheated, but she breaks up with him, and it is intended that there's another guy. The other guy. So of course you have, and that's the beautiful thing. The really thought of the movie. The whole movie isn't a why. So the reason the whole movie isn't a why is because Kristen Bell always thought about having these vacation spots. So they go, and basically she's there and he's there. So it's like, okay, well, I'm going on a trip to forget my ex, but she's there, which is again Forgetting Sarah Marshall. But why the movie is so good is because they thought about everything. They thought about, okay, well, guess what? This guy first thought is not going to a why. There's a lot of steps that are very unsuccessful, but there's a lot of steps nonetheless. So what is absolutely phenomenal is you're like, okay, how did he get to where he is? And they thought about it, right? So he goes to the trip, and then he's in a shitty position, and then Rachel, which is played by Mila Kunis, who in this movie, this is the movie that really made me love Mila Kunis. I used to have a crush on Mila Kunis. I think she's really gorgeous, but it's her portrayal of Rachel in this movie that really made me think she's actually sweet. So Mila Kunis, she see the way Sarah Marshall treats Jason Segel, and it's amazing because she feels bad for him, and that's the point of romance. And then they fall in love, and it's actually really cool. And the movie in itself, like I said, plot-wise, it's amazing. Plot-wise, this guy came in and he's completely destroyed. He's a mess, and everybody around the block, not around the block, but around the resort, they're kind of treating him like a poor guy that is going through shit. Now, why is that important? It isn't really, really, really important, but it does picture the solidarity that they have for him. We have Rachel that's there for him. We have Judge Rudd, who plays this surf instructor who's always high. And then you have also we have the guy who slip him some alcohol in the morning because he know that he's in pain. And the movie is okay. Well, the movie why it's so good is because you think about the resort, right? And you think about, oh, I'm gonna have fun, I'm gonna have vacation. But you don't think about the people working. So Jason, because they feel bad for him, he's kind of the part of the crew without being officially in the crew. And actually, it's so nice. But that's not even the nicest thing about Forgetting Sarah Marshall. The nicest thing is possibly Rachel, because once again, amazing character. And it's kind of like a shitty character, but amazing character. So why shitty? Well, she see how badly she treats Jason Segel, and she takes care of him, right? She's like, okay, you have a shitty ex, it's okay. And in a certain part, we know why she has a shitty ex too, so she kind of relate to the pain that he's feeling. And then she see that the ex is a bitch to everyone. It's like, okay, well, I'm gonna fuck her up, right? The great part about the movie is there's another couple, and the other couple, the first couple of times, I would say the first 3-4 times that you saw the movie, you don't really get why it is important, but it's absolutely important because they're going in the beginning of a relationship, which is kind of what's going on with Rachel and Segel, right? So basically, at the end of the movie, the most beautiful thing is Jason is working on a musical, and if you can go on YouTube right now and look at the rehearsal, kind of musical of Dracula, and he's just a dude that's in love, but cannot have a girlfriend because they all die and he's immortal. So it's a curse, and it's a beautiful song. Jason Segel is super talented, but Forgetting Sarah Marshall is, all intended and purposes, about a dude that rebuilds himself. And Dracula is that. Dracula is, I want to love someone, but I know I cannot love someone because they'll die in front of me. And it's about forgetting Sarah Marshall, but it's also about killing Sarah Marshall. Not killing in the proper sense of the term, but killing in the sense of, you weren't good for me. You never were. It took me a while to realize it, but you're not good for me. And just like Dracula, I just want to love. And if I have to pass out or pass a shitty relationship to find a good relationship, that's what I do. That's what I'll do. Now, the best thing about the movie is you kind of hate Sarah Marshall, because she's very selfish. She's with Aldo Snow because he's a rock star. There's not a clear sign that she cares about him. And then it's kind of funny because she really is mean. She talks to Rachel in a elitist way. She talks to Jason like, "Oh, you followed me here," which he didn't. You're crazy stalker, move around. Then you realize that she's been fucking Aldous for a year, so they cheated for a year. So she's really this fucked up person. She is really a shitty person. And as I said, I watched the movie 5-7 times, and for the 5-7 time, the beauty in my mind, the beauty of Sarah Marshall. I feel bad saying this, but the beauty of Sarah Marshall was very simple. It wasn't about forgetting his ex-girlfriend. It was realizing, the public, the character realizing that she's a shitty person, and she deserved the pain of being forgotten, right? And then you realize that her and Aldous doesn't work, and you feel good because Jason Segel relationship works. Like, okay, well, fuck you. You weren't able to keep this relationship. You're gonna be able to keep this other relationship. But yesterday, as I was doing a review, because I was paying more attention, I forgot about this moment in the movie where she tells him why she didn't move on. She tells him why she didn't love anymore. She tells him why she cheated. And you kind of feel bad about it because you understand where she came from. You understand where she came from, and you understand that she did try to make the relationship more than what he was doing. And it's a beautiful thing because I think a lot of people, we do that. I think it's very humane to see a relationship and just try to maintain it. Jason Segel, yes, was a better boyfriend, was a better partner, absolutely. But Jason Segel did a really big mistake. Instead of making sure that the relationship stay, it was just surviving the relationship. As of Sarah Connor actively tried to be like, okay, well, how can we work through it? How can we make this better? What's something that Jason didn't do? And ultimately speaking, Jason was the one that was the victim in the relationship. But it wasn't victimless. It wasn't victimless. It was just like, oh, I'm a shitty person. It's like, no, I tried to make it work, and you just didn't realize it. And now the whole world's against me because I left you. But they don't see the reason why I left you. Once again, the relationship with Rachel, super cool. You really, I'm gonna be honest. I think and the MVP in this movie is, again, Mila Kunis. You really believe that she cares about him. You really believe that she's in love with him. With Jason Segel, you realize that you kind of feel bad for Rachel because is she a rebound? And if she's not a rebound, then are they able to have this relationship? And the most beautiful part of the scene, the movie, is eventually, spoiler alert, eventually Jason will cheat on Mila Kunis with Sarah Marshall. And he tells her, and she tells him, you shouldn't be with anybody. I understand that you're in pain, but you shouldn't be with anybody. You cannot be with anybody right now. And it's sad because, without necessarily saying that this is a bad dude, he's so hurt that it's gonna hurt other people, and she's right. And yeah, that's pretty much the movie. So, two fantastic movies. I wasn't supposed to talk about Graham to the Greek, but yeah, Sarah Marshall was also really good. You feel bad for Sarah. See, the thing that's going on is Jason Segel is such a cool character because you really understand him. You really realize, okay, this is why he's like that. This is why Homie is the way he is. It's because of, he's just a dude's dude. He chills in his pajama. He watches series. He eats cereal. He's just a dude's dude. And Sarah, she feels like the world is around her, and she does treat him. She does treat him as shit because, like, in a red carpet, she's gonna make him wear his her handbag. She's not gonna give him the love that he deserves. But this is her livelihood. This is her job. Jason Segel basically writes music, which is also a fucking amazing thing. But this is their job. If she goes to the red carpet and she's colder with people are gonna be like, yo, what a bitch, right? So you kind of realize that she's possibly not to blame here, and you feel bad because what do I do here? What do I do? Do I support the main character that I like, or do I support a character that's right? And they were both wrong. See, when Jason cheated on Mila Kunis with Sarah Marshall, you understand why he did it. You understand, and you kind of see that he was into it. At the same time, he was able to say, no, I don't want to do it. Does that make it better? You still cheated. I don't know. But it's just a good movie. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyway, I love you guys. Take it easy. Peace.